In a world full of online ads and job listings, finding work has never been easier or more dangerous. Sometimes, the most perfect offer is the one hiding the biggest lie. Maybe you have never been scammed, but someone close to you might be next. Welcome to podcast Think Before You Click. Job scams look real. Let's talk about the dark side of job hunting.
And I'm the host for this podcast today. My name is Yen, and we have here as well.
My name is Wesley.
Yeah, so today we'll be diving into the dark but all too real world of job scams. Alright, so these job scams are getting smarter, flashier, and harder to spot. To help us break down these scams and protect ourselves better, I'm joined by three highly respected guests. Mr. Chung, Chairman of the Malaysian Crime Prevention Foundation.
Yeah, hello and good afternoon. So I'm Chung, currently the chairman for Malaysia Crime Prevention Foundation, Kinta district. So I've joined this NGO for more than 6 years. So our main focus is on creating awareness and fighting against crimes. So we have worked closely with other NGOs, and of course our main cooperation partners is PDRM. And in fact, we have done several talks with Utah, with the Crime Prevention Society, and we organize a lot of talks in primary and secondary schools as well. So we hope that through all this awareness campaign and intervention, we'll be able to build a better Malaysia and reduce the crime rate. Yeah.
And Gopal anak lelaki Palamisamy, Assistant Superintendent of Police.
My name is ASP Gopal anak lelaki Palamisamy. Working in the Commercial Crime Department Kampar. I'm the head of the department in District Kampar. And previously I was, I think almost about 15 years in commercial crime. Since I started as an investigation officer and then become a Mexican operation officer, and now I'm leading this department in this Kampar state.
And Toh Muda Azman.
Selamat tengah hari semua. Nama saya Azman. Saya juga salah seorang ahli MCPF. Lebih kurang 6-7 tahun juga. So seperti apa yang Cik Chung sudah katakan tadi, matlamat kami ialah untuk menolong pihak PDRM dalam mengatasi masalah jenayah yang sedia ada, ya. Dan saya juga terlibat dengan banyak juga lain-lain NGO yang ada untuk membantu orang-orang yang memerlukan bantuan. Terima kasih.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today.
Thank you for having us.
Alright, so now after listening to our esteemed guest introduction, I think we can delve right away into the stories that we have collected via our social media accounts. So these are stories from real life cases, and we will then ask your opinions and maybe some of your insights about it. Alright,
let's start from the first story from a university student. He had got an offer of 500 ringgit a month to rent out their social media accounts. Easy money, right? I thought to myself, wow, that's another way to spend my bubble tea money. Sign up now. So without hesitation, I handed over my Instagram and TikTok passwords. But that's when the truth came out. 2 days later, I received a panic message. Hey, was your account hacked? Your account is selling fake bags. I rushed to check, and my profile had been hijacked and turned into an advertising machine for a non-existent luxury brand. Playing ads non-stop, and poof, the account was gone, and worse, it was being used to commit fraud again. So, Mr. Chung, let's start with you. Why are scammers targeting students like this?
Yeah, I believe it happens quite regularly, and in fact, we believe that they are targeting students because they are easy victims, because they are less protective and less alert about how important personal credentials are. So in dealing with this kind of situation, it is wise to be more alert and always think twice before sharing out your personal details, especially like your social media's password and account. Even they promise to manage it properly for you, but sometimes when things turn out to be too good to be true, then you have to pay extra cautious. Yeah.
All right, understand. Okay, then, Mr. Gopal, I would like to ask, so once we have given out our passwords, right, how difficult it is to regain control of our social media account again? And maybe are there any legal actions where the victims can do so that they can recompensate on what they have lost?
Okay, for passwords that you have been given to the other parties to take control, once it's been misused, the best advice is once you get to know the matter, is deactivate the account. Okay, once you deactivate, if it is more severe cases, when there is a kind of a scam being done using the same account, so it's better to lodge a report and deactivate the account so that we can prevent more people from getting scammed or be victim of those accounts.
Mr. Azman, what do you think about regarding this situation as well from your perspective?
Okay, from my general perspective, you asked me about knowledge and experience. Of course, Tuan Gopal will be the best person to advise. But as a layman, like most of us are, what I would say, students here, you guys are more vulnerable because you don't have much experience in life. Probably the people that you mix with as well, you know, you easily get influenced when people have something or people want something, you follow, especially things which are trendy. And sometimes you can't afford it and you do certain things which you're not supposed to do and you keep on doing it. Why? Because it's always an easy way for you to get something. Like what Tuan was saying just now, after deactivating the account, I would also say that you have to also communicate or contact each and every person that you have in your contact book and inform them what has happened. You know, otherwise many people might not know what is happened to your account.
I would like to ask, what would you say to someone who thinks to themselves like, it won't happen to me, like when it comes to these types of scams?
First of all, most people won't admit that it even happened to them, right? And of course, having ego, being very proud, you always deny such things will ever happen again. But then again, when it is so tempting and too good to be true, which we heard just now, too good to be true, you will take your chances. Most of us will, because there's always a calculated risk which is involved, and if it's losing a bit, but you're still losing. So then again, think a lot, not think twice, just think a lot.
All right, thank you so much. I do agree with whenever we face with cases like that, we should really think twice. And I think especially for students like us, we are very vulnerable in these types of cases as well. All right, so maybe we can have one last question before we move on to the next story. So, Mr. Gopal, I would like to ask, so once our social media account has been hijacked, right? And of course, the fault is on the scammers themselves, but will the original holder of the account be held responsible in these cases? So for example, like maybe someone has stolen your account to commit a fraud or do something bad essentially. Will the original owner, whether or not he or she knows about it, be held responsible legally?
Okay, for this question, okay, first of all, I would like to tell, the social media accounts, first thing is because when people, the scammers mostly, they want to have your social media accounts because the aging process of, the age of your social media plays a lot of roles, okay? Let's say, For example, for the case just now, selling luxury bags and everything. Let's say my account is just only 2 days. Nobody will come and buy. So the scammers will target and they will get this kind of accounts which already aged, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Oh, they are already in the market industry for 10 years. They are already selling for so many years. So people will intend to go and trust and buy from them. Okay, again, go back to your question. Is the social media account holder being held responsibility? It depends case by case basis, because using the social media account only, we cannot victimize one person, we cannot cheat one person. There should be bank accounts collaborate together, and then they will have a call center, so it all comes in together. So it's the best is, do not give your passwords, like your accounts, or do not sell your accounts to anyone, to prevent all this from happening. So if we cannot say they won't be held responsible, but depends on cases. If the case is severe, good enough to prove that you are also involved in the case, then you will be held responsible. Okay.
All right, thank you so much for the answers. So all in all, I think we can conclude about this story is that we as students, we are especially vulnerable in these kind of cases, and what we can do at most is just, of course, like according to our campaign, VERIFY, verify whenever we meet cases whereby we have to share our personal information. Alright, so I think that about wraps up our first story. So now we'll move on to the second story, which is another case that we have collected from our social media account. So next is a scam I like to call the pig butchering scam in this case. So what I came across a job ad saying that they were looking for people to leave positive reviews for online stores. And it is 5 ringgit per review. So I figured, well, it's virtual anyway, just writing a few good words, no harm will be done. So I added the recruiter. They told me to place orders first, then leave reviews, and promise to refund both the purchase amount and the commission. For the first order, they actually paid me back, so I let my guard down and kept going for the second, third, and so on. But then, they started pushing me to place more and more expensive orders. I got deeper and deeper into it until I had to put in almost 800 ringgit. And then they just completely vanished. So my mind went completely blank, and that's when it hit me. The earlier small payments were just bait to get me to trust them. Looking back, it was a classic pig butchering scam. The feeling of being tricked like that, it's honestly very disgusting and infuriating. Okay, so I think for this story, we can start with Mr. Chong. So just a very simple question. What's the psychology behind these type of scam cases, and why are they happening so often?
So I think initially they would try their very best to gain your trust first, and that's where they try to lure you with the baits, the so-called small sum of money, like what has been mentioned in the talk previously by Tuan Gopal. So that's to build or establish a good relationship with you, and to make you believe that this job actually exists, and it is going to be, if you continue, you'll be paid or rewarded accordingly. So of course that is just their first step. So after that, once they have gained your trust and you have emotionally involved, attached to them, and you feel that it is a viable ways of increasing your income or making a profit, then that's the time when you'll be, like you said, will be slaughtered. So do be very careful on all this. Now that you understand how it works, the modus operandi, so you must be alert and share the story with your friends, and teach them to be more alert on this kind of advertisement or job offered by unknown agencies. Do bear in mind that actually there are a lot of, I would say, part-time jobs that you can actually work from home, but make sure you get it from legitimate agencies that is available.
Okay, so thank you so much. So I guess what we can say for this is just because humans are bodies with feelings, right? So we can't get too emotionally attached to something, and we must always check before we, let's say, apply for jobs and so on. So let's have another question.
Can I add on?
Sure.
How trustworthy are all of you? So easy to trust something which you see or you read. You go online, apply for something, intending to earn money, but instead you're being asked to pay money. How does that work out? Why would you want to give money when you are the one who wants to take money?
Because I can expect a bigger amount in the
Seriously?
future.
That easy you trust somebody?
I guess it depends on the person's personality, but for real, I am quite.
There is no personality. What you see is all virtual. It's virtual. It's nothing real in front of you. So why is it that so many people they say that, oh, you can get this, but you give me $1, I give you $5.
I think maybe it's also because of the wording.
If you do the maths, you're not getting $5, you're getting $4. You don't talk about the discount there, right? And earlier on, Tuan Gopal did mention someone, the student who wants to borrow 3,000 ended up giving 5,000 in the first place. Why is he borrowing when he has got 5,000 with him? Right? So I think these are simple questions which everybody need to ask themselves. Is it being greedy? Or is it something which they think they can get it easily? So I think it boils down to everyone and single individual themselves. Because I think all the awareness has been given out. Not, I would say that, do you know about scam? Nobody said, I haven't heard about it before. Everyone has heard about it, yet it gets scammed day after day. Right? Thank you.
Yeah, I really do agree to that. I do think it's because of greed. I'm not sure about other people, but what I can say, I believe it's kind of like the human nature that we want to put in very little effort and earn a lot. So yeah, that's something that we need to take note of. So can we have another question?
So, same thing regarding this. Sir Gopal, how do these scams usually operate behind the scenes, and like how often like this type of cases actually happen in real life?
Okay, this kind of cases, how often it happens? It happens quite a lot among students. It's quite a lot because you guys want to earn a little bit extra money and trapped into this kind of scams. Okay, it's quite a lot. So my advice is do not trust in these job scams. Okay, this like and share. For example, like Yen just now said, need to put a comment and get 5 ringgit. So every comment 5 ringgit, that means I also can quit my job already. Okay. So sit down there, do 100 comment one day, already 500. But, so do not trust this kind of job scams. And how do they operate behind the scene? Actually, it's very simple only. You can see from the scenario itself, we know already. They just put a bait, 5 ringgit, 10 ringgit, and then they will say that you already earned some amount of money. For you to claim this amount of money, you need to do more, and you need to pay more. Okay? Let's say you want to claim 1,000, which is virtual, it's not real money. The 1,000 that you earn is virtual, but for you to claim the 1,000, they ask you to pay 500, which is real money. So you lose or you gain? Of course you lose. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I think we can end the story with another 2 questions. Okay, so the first question is, in this case, right, the victim is scammed under false promise, but in a way, the victim is paying willingly, right? Because nobody like pointed a gun at him or her to give his or her money. So are there any laws implied for this on how like the fault is, like, is it whether or not on the victim or the scammer itself? And then the second is, what are the emotional impacts that will be caused to the victims themselves? Okay, so I think I'll open these 2 questions to the floor. So any 3 of you would like to answer for this?
I only want to say this. Most of the time, if you get scammed or something ever happens to you, for instance, you trip and you fall, what do you get? You get embarrassed. So most of the time, you'll be embarrassed of what you did. Maybe it sounds stupid, it looks stupid, it makes you look like a fool because everyone else didn't get scammed, but you got scammed. The other thing which is more serious is being traumatized. And also it might affect your livelihood, in fact, your family as well. I'll give you an example which we were just discussing just now. I have a friend who's a contractor, right? He received a call saying that there's a contract which is open for tender. So this caller said he'll send him a link for him to click on it so that he can download the forms. What happened next is, he duplicate his phone. He got access to his bank accounts and whatnot. Within a week, he lost 30,000. And this happened 3 weeks ago. Recently, his wife had a miscarriage. So the impact on someone being scammed is really, really bad. Right? So if any one of you also do not do well in your studies, don't go to scamming because it hurts people and people might commit suicide because of that. You know? So every one of you should always advise each other every now and then, regardless whether you know it or you don't know it. Or just tell them information which you have, share it with them. Yeah?
Alright, thank you so much. So
Just
on
a bit of add-on. So I believe what Toh Muda Azman said was in line with what the Tuan Lukman earlier in his welcoming speech say that you all are here not just to learn about all the knowledge on how to prevent, and most importantly is to learn not to be a scammer. Yeah, and in fact, it is very common nowadays for people to be scammed, and it can happen not only to ourselves but also to those that are closest to us. So, like what has been mentioned, you might get embarrassed and traumatized, but it is also important for us to utilize the knowledge that we learned today to better safeguard our family members and also to give them encouragement. If bad things really happen, and it does happen all the time, so we just need to give them emotional support, moral support, yeah, just to make sure that they would move forward from the incidents.
So for law enforcement, Tuan Gopal would like to answer.
Okay, for this kind of online fraud cases, of course there is a section that will go under penal code, we will go under cheating, and also we will try to find out those who do it, then we will try to get them catch them, then bring them to the magistrate to get what punishment to get for them. So this investigation part is normally will take some kind of quite long process because this social media, because we need to engage with some other agencies other than media. For example, we need to go to MCMC, and then we need to get verification from the WhatsApp. Depends on what social media they're using.
Okay, thank you so much for the answers. Alright, so I think what we can conclude from this story is that if this food or this scenario is sweet to begin with but ends with bitter, then it was never sugar to begin with. So I guess what we can do is just work harder and don't be lazy. And yeah, so because the process of when we are scammed is really long, like Tuan Gopal has mentioned, we have to go through MCMC and a lot of other organizations. So because this process is really hard, we should really give emotional support to the friends or family and the people around us when they are met with or encounter these types of situations. All right, so I think we can move on to the third story.
So as for the third story, now let's talk about an online meeting assistant and MLM scam. I saw a post on Facebook recruiting online meeting assistants. The job seems simple enough. Just help with taking meetings, and they pay you daily. I thought it didn't sound too complicated, so I signed up. They asked me to attend some pre-job training over Zoom, and they even set up a group chat with dozens of people. It all looked pretty legitimate, but during the training, the instructor kept bragging about how strong the company was and how earning over 10,000 ringgit a month is no dream. He also encouraged us to invite more people into the group, promising commissions for every person we brought in. I was a bit hesitant at first, but seeing so many people in the group constantly posting things like task completed and great platform, I went along with it for a few days. Then one day, an older employee privately messaged me and warned me, and that this wasn't a legitimate job at all. It was basically a pyramid scheme disguised as part-time work. He told me a lot of people in the group were actually fake accounts, just pretending to be active to trick newcomers. The moment I heard that, I quickly left the group. Luckily, I hadn't invested much yet, otherwise things could have ended way worse. So for this, I would like to ask Mr. Chong, how do these scams keep tricking people despite the warning signs?
I think most of the victims, they are attracted by the potential monies or potential rewards that they might be receiving from all these, like you say, so-called MLM groups. So, and of course, perhaps on the peer pressure, sometimes all this operated because your friends of friends are joining, and you see they are all wearing good outfits, driving sports cars, and so on. So it triggers you to think twice in believing that you might achieve what they have been achieving as well. So without knowing that actually these are all planned. So just a simple advice is always to stay realistic, okay? Be aware of what you can do and what is suitable to you. Because MLM is not for everyone, especially those pyramid schemes, okay? And it is, I think nowadays it's quite easily to spot or identify, as long as they're giving out pay schemes that are too lucrative to be true, then you should be alert about that. Yeah.
So, how do we identify between real or legitimate virtual jobs compared to scams? Because nowadays, due to the trends, there are a lot of like hybrid working modes or working from home posts. So how can we verify and identify between the fake and the real ones?
Well, honestly, if you ask me, I don't think it's that easy, right? To differentiate between what is real and what is not, okay? Especially when things go online, there's nothing physical, there's so many things that can happen. I would genuinely say that the best thing to do is to meet someone in person, be at the place, proper place, a registered place where you are familiar with. But then again, that can also be set up, right? We never know. But again, the chances are much narrower. What I don't understand is, why are we so easily tricked into it? Is there the risk factor which is not so risky that we are willing to try? We don't think that we can lose much by just trying something out. And what if it's real, right? So your options is put on the balance of what you want and not really what you need. See? Because most of the time what you want is things which you like but you don't need. So you're willing to take the risk. People, they don't mind, like for example you gambling, right? You know the chances is so low, but yet you gamble. Why? Because you have the pleasure, you have the fun of it as well. Okay? You talk about pyramid scheme. I think goes back way back when I was in school in the 80s. We have got this what we call it, the I can't remember the name of the scheme, whereby we students as well come out with what, 300 ringgit. At the end of the month, we expect to get back 1,000 ringgit, and all of us did. Most of us made money, but when we got greedy after a few months, then we lost everything. And that was when we started borrowing to make more, right? So if you ask me, how do I really identify? I think if it's that easy to identify, no one will be scammed. It's for us to really be very, very much judgmental into what we look at and what we listen, and of course, read more, learn more, and create more awareness. I think that's the best thing to do.
Thank you for the answer. It's always those what-if questions, those risk-taking moments, saying, what if I miss out this opportunity? I can't be the one to miss out this opportunity. What if it's real? What if it's fake? I never know until I take the risk. But when they do take the risk, sometimes it's already too late. So on this, Mr. Sir Gopal, some people might be afraid to report scams if they fear they'll get blamed. What's your advice for those who unknowingly join something illegal?
As far as we concerned, there is no such thing if you unknowingly joining something illegal. No such thing. If you're joining you should know you are joining the thing is already illegal. How come you can say unknowingly?
Or as an accidental.
Accidentally.
Ignorance is non-excuse.
Okay, so there is that's why we always advise that before you join into something, you better make sure check properly and get some verification from agencies whether this product or this plan is legitimate or not. So that's the advice. And just now you were saying about this getting into these groups and his friends getting more money. All this, as you told me, yeah, I agree, because all the groups, they are all fakes. Okay, they will like I explained just now, morning they will bank in about 1,000, and then evening they own sell people put in 3,000. They say they win already. So this all is fake. So that's why people are getting cheated. So that's what my advice. Please do not join any unknowingly any group that you don't know. Okay, and you cannot come back to the police say that I joined unknowingly. It's not accepted at all.
Okay, I think that's it for this part of the story. And now we'll move on to the fourth part of the story, which is...
Okay, so just to do a quick summarization of the last story just now. Basically, like mentioned, ignorance is not an excuse, and although we do feel really heartbroken that we've been cheated on when we enter a job group or something, but we really need this awareness, and it is our responsibility to have this knowledge in order for us to verify and identify between legitimate and frauds. Okay, so let's move on to the last story for the day. Okay, I think you guys have been wondering, why is this guy sitting over there? And he's been there for the whole time, but yeah, and he hasn't been speaking. Okay, so for the last story, right, we will spice things up a little. So this guy over here is actually one of the victims for, sorry. I've mistakenly said he is a friend of one of the victims of the stories that we have collected. And yeah, he will be here today to discuss with us regarding this case as well. So let's have him introduce himself first.
Okay, nice to meet you guys. I think most of you all know who am I. So my name is Ning Wei, and just to clarify, this story is not based on my experience.
Sure.
No, it's fine. I'm representing my friend. Okay, so I'll keep his identity anonymous, and I think I can start the story. So I'll be referring him as I. Okay, so I am a currently third year advertising student, and I love. He's a music lover, and then he has passion in making music. and it was a semester break at the time, so I thought I tried to find some part-time work to earn a bit of pocket money, so maybe to save up money for a project. So one day while scrolling on my phone, I came across a part-time job group, which you can see in WhatsApp. So one of the job offered, it's an online survey job. They were offering 5 ringgit per survey, per survey if I do the survey. And the more you did, the more you earn. So I thought, hey, this sounds pretty good. I could make money without even leaving home. So after that, I added the person on WhatsApp. So they say I needed to verify my identity, and they asked for my IC and also my student card. I hesitated for a moment, and then I thought that it probably wasn't a big deal, so I sent it over. So for the first few days, everything actually went smoothly. I was finishing surveys quickly, and I thought to myself, I already earned probably over 300 ringgit. And I even thought to myself, okay, perfect, this is like quick money. But when I tried to cash out, they told me the system showed my verification was incomplete, and I needed to pay 200 ringgit to unlock the withdrawal function. So of course, I was flabbergasted, and I immediately did a search, and sure enough, Google said it probably is a survey job scam. So I tried to contact them after I finished the task, but they blocked me almost immediately. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ling Wei. You're very brave for sharing this.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so I guess a very simple question to start off. The first question is, it's very common for us students to find side jobs via WeChat or WhatsApp groups, because that's like the messenger platform that we use the most. So are there any ways for us to actually determine what jobs are real, what jobs are fake, and what are the platforms that you guys recommend us to use when we are finding these part-time jobs? Yeah, and Ling Wei, you can put in your output as well, if like your opinions as well. Yeah, so
to be honest, let's say you mean like platforms for job, like,
or maybe you can share about like the platforms you use.
Or maybe my own opinion. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
let's say, cause next semester I'll be doing my internship. So most of my jobs I seek is on LinkedIn and JobStreet, because they are, I mean, what they call verified job seeking platforms. But as our lecturer, Ms. Xia, has shown us during the class, that a person who's an experienced worker, I forgot what his occupation was, but then he has experience for many years. He seek a job in JobStreet. So this is, I'm not making this up, it's actually in YouTube. And the guy got scammed to Cambodia. And he was tortured, and even I think the government or one of the political parties that went to rescue him. So see, even in JobStreet, which is how to say, what you call like a proper job seeking platform, even like those platforms can get scammed. So it is difficult for us to, how to say, verify real jobs in today's world. Let's say, even let's say AI is also like on the rise right now. So it is like probably a headache to all authorities, not even like students like us. And, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Which is why we would like to ask. So I'll open this question to all three of you. So like, what are the tips and tricks where we can use, especially for job seekers like us? Okay.
First and foremost, don't be lazy. Work from home. MCO is over. Is it that easy for you to get a job? Why do you think that people go abroad and work? Is it because the exchange currency? Or change of life? Whatever reason it is, you need to ask yourself, why do you go abroad to work? Okay? Even to work in Singapore, it's not that easy, right? So there are so many processes which you have to go through. If anything which makes it so easy for someone to go to any other Asian country to work, there must be a trick to it. I think common sense will tell you, unless you are really uneducated or you are expecting to work as a cleaner or what, then probably this. But then again, why are we going to go so far towards a cleaner? I mean, you can work as one over here, right? The other thing is, can't you find a proper job in Malaysia? Right? That you need to go work out. If things are so bad in Malaysia, I think as students, you all should compile a study or a survey and let the government know. I think there is ways that students can voice out their opinion as well. The other challenge here, I think, which you should, as students of college, maybe the IT department, come out with a way to counter scammers. People can come out with chat, GPT, whatsoever, whatsoever. I'm sure you can come out with a way that you can identify what is real and what is not real. Right? So then again, there is no shortcut in life. Everything you have to work for it. Nothing is easy. Right? So I wish you all the best.
Alright, thank you so much, Don. Okay, so I think this is on behalf of Ling Wei's friend. We have one question. Okay, so basically, because youngsters like us, we are very hopeful. We have so many expectations towards the world. It's our first time stepping into the professional workforce, and if we have so many restrictions when we are like going through platforms, oh, this seems like it's unsafe, oh, we can't use this, we can't use that, oh, is this really trustable? It somewhat hinders with our like job seeking process. So what's your advice on, youngsters like us to stay both hopeful but also cautious? Like maybe psychologically, as well as like the more practical things where we can take note of.
I believe you just have to be more hardworking in looking for jobs. Actually, you should know that there are a lot of government agencies and also departments that help students and also school leavers to look for jobs. And for example, you can easily go to the nearest UTC, or you can just search online on this government agency, like what you have mentioned just now. For example, like LinkedIn, JobStreet. Of course, most of the time they are offering legitimate jobs, but you need to do some background check. And if possible, nowadays, like is no longer MCO, you can just go attend a proper interview. You can search the company profiles. Even with current technologies, you can search who are the directors and what types of business that they are involving in. So yeah, just need to be smart and also pay more attention to the details, because things are getting more and more complicated. Even scammers, they will take multiple steps and even pay greater efforts in trying to making you believe and to trap you and to earn your money. So you can see even like movie stars recently, the Wang Xing, that happens, the case from China. He thought he's going for a proper film casting program, but eventually he got caught and got trapped. So yeah, we do have to be very alert and have to be extra cautious and try not to be too naive lah. That's the case. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chong. So again, we have to be less gullible, I guess. Grow up, learn how to identify, and yeah, be more hardworking in general. Okay, so I think we can end with a last question. So the last question would be, what do you guys want to say to a person, like Ling Wei mentioned just now, right? His friend, he only lost 200 ringgit. So 200 ringgit, to be honest, it's relatively not a big amount. So why do I need to report it? Because it isn't causing me a lot of loss as well. Alright, so does any one of you?
Okay, for this question, if his friend doesn't want to report, that platform is still alive. That account is still alive. Another person can become a victim. So even though your loss is 50, 100, 150, even though relatively it is not a big amount of money, but once you make the report, we have a system that we will block that account, the bank account. Okay, and also we will send letter to MCMC regarding that social media account to get blocked. So in a way we are trying to prevent from another person to become a victim. So you are also helping us by making a report. By just keeping quiet, maybe another 4 or 5 will become a victim also.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh, okay. So I guess Ling Wei, you have to relay the message to your friend that remember to report this case. Okay, so I think that's about it for our podcast today. So let's do a little summarization of what we have learned today. First of all, sensitive information requests. When a job employee is asking for your, for example, financial account numbers or your IC numbers or anything that is too personal, then you must always be aware of this. Always identify that it is a real employee before you give out these personal information. And second of all, I think it's been mentioned a lot in the scam stories just now that we should always be careful of too good to be true offers, because sometimes if it's too good to be true, it's often fake. So it's that self-explanatory. And then third thing would be when we are encountered with pressure tactics. Although we are just university students right now and a lot of us are just like in our start of early 20s, it's not an excuse for us to be not knowledgeable or ignorant when it comes to cases like that. So it's our responsibility to have this awareness and also share this awareness around the people around us. Okay, so again, thank you so much to the 3 guests we have here today, Tuan Azman, Mr. Chong, and Tuan Gopal. Thank you guys so much for attending today's podcast, and also thank you, Ling Wei, for sharing on behalf of your friend, sharing this experience with courage. And all we want to say is that scams may be evolving, but so is our awareness. So if you enjoyed this podcast today, do be sure to like and share and comment, and also spread the awareness and knowledge that you have learned today to the people around you. Alright, thank you guys so much for attending today's podcast.